All right. Well, welcome from Calico Ghost Town.
Ghost Town.
Right. Oh, right in the middle of the desert between LA and Vegas. It's kind of a median point. We spent a couple of nights there, $40 a night, including full hookups and entry into
the park.
Yeah,
That's right.
was. I thought it was a great deal. And Calico's a really cool old westerny town that actually traces its tourism back to Walter Knott. But how did it get its name?
Let's ask.
Gentlemen were sitting around town hall discussing names, not liking any of them. Then one man said, "It's as pretty as a women's calico skirt." Right then and there, they knew they found the name, Calico. And it is true, these mountains are as colorful as a calico skirt.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Nice name. So we're in Lucy Lane's house right now, and Lucy Lane was kind of the first lady of Calico. The house is made out of rammed earth because they had a lot of fires, as all these old western towns did. Lucy got to Calico in 1884 when she was 10. She was a fixture in the town until 1967. So she lived
She lived there a long time. On her 16th birthday, she was given a pin by rock miner John Robert Lane, the water superintendent of Calico, and said, "When you put on a long dress, I'm going to marry you." 2 years later, she did. And he did.
That's pretty cool. And you can see, I like it because it shows a lot of how they lived, including the dentist. Oh, man.
That one excited Tony.
Yeah,
right
I had just had a root canal when we visited. No, thank you. And so all the comforts of home in here. The funny thing is, Walter Knott bought the town, basically, eventually.
Right.
And Walter Knott is from Knott's Berry Farm. And it became quite the tourist attraction. He started rebuilding buildings and recreating some buildings and just fixing up old buildings.
Right.
But Lucy still lived there, ran the general store, and had to put up a sign that said, "This
private residence.
Yeah.
This is not an attraction."
Yeah.
And that was before she passed away in the 1960s.
Yeah. But so pretty cool. It was a huge silver mining town. And that's how, like a lot of these places in California, big silver mining town,
Right.
very, very successful until the price of silver dropped. But she stayed on. She was the town's shopkeeper and, had the supplies. One of the funny things is, as these miners were unable to pay her, she basically took their claims, so she was quite the landowner. Now we're in an underground operation.
This is actually called the Maggie Mine. It's the only one that's open, that's safe for visitors to explore. It's about 1,000 feet of tunnel that's open to the public, and maybe to some residences of the time.
Yeah, some of these people actually lived in the mine. It's kind of weird. The conditions were pretty horrible. You can still see there's still silver in the mine.
There is still silver in the mine. It's just that it is not really feasible to get it out and make it a good commercial product.
Right. It'll cost you more to get the silver out of the rock than it would to, sell the silver. And
Right.
Look, this is how the ore would go basically up these shafts and out into processing. And here you see a miner, a dummy basically, with a steam drill, and they would drill a hole in the rock and then stick dynamite in the hole and blow up the rock. Fire in the hole!
Fire in the hole!
And there are still a bunch of holes in the walls of the mine where you can see that they had drilled it in the olden days.
Right. Yeah, you can see where they did some of the blasting. So here at the beginning of this mine, there's a kind of a rock and mineral display. They turn off the lights and turn on black lights so that you can see the ones that fluoresce in the black light. Pretty interesting.
The early miner in hard work seeking out elusive silver vein. This part of the Maggie Mine was given the name Dead Man's Drift because no mine timbers were used to support the roof and walls. This drift was cut through solid rock, and in more than 100 years of use, it's nearly identical to the way it looked when it was...
Yeah, so unsupported, just open rock.
Yeah.
And they pulled a tremendous amount of.
You want to know what we dream of? Well, it was silver. Here in Calico, we have silver fever. Silver was discovered here in 1881. And in the 15 years that followed, over $86 million in high-grade ore was taken from the 10 major mines in the area. At one time, there was about 30 miles of tunnels within those Calico mountains.
Can you imagine 30 miles?
Yeah, of underground. And one of the things, to me, it was really interesting. That is a wooden pipe surrounded by sort of a metal cage, and that's how they had to get the water into the mine. Mining takes a lot of water. And the metal pipes would just rust from the minerals in the. So they drive these wooden pipes, kind of a cool thing. And then there's an old schoolhouse that Walter Knott recreated on the place where the original schoolhouse actually was. And there's a really cool story about
There's this cool story about that.
So there was a couple from England who were visiting. It's a popular tourist attraction, like I said, and they got to spend time with the last schoolmarm there. And she told them stories of teaching the kids and how she was the last schoolmarm. Well, when they took a picture with her, a selfie with her, and when they went home and developed it, there were only two people
in that picture.
Ooh.
So this is the Calico Odessa train, and it's a little train ride that takes you around and shows you kind of some of the old mine pits and gives you the history of Calico.
Yeah, it's really a beautiful countryside. I love the desert, and so you can really see the color of the rocks and some of the remains of old buildings and some recreated stuff too.
Right.
And they also have where you can see how the mine claims were kind of drilled right into the side of the rock and such. I mean, you got to think you're in the middle of the desert,
right?
Blowing holes in rock. It is not an easy life at all.
Not easy at all.
Over here again, you can see the red rock. That's Calico, and it was kind of cool. They had this dog that would deliver the mail to some of the mines.
Oh, yeah, Dorsey the dog.
Dorsey the dog would actually deliver those rock piles would denote the edge of somebody's claim. So they would file a claim, and it's like, okay, this space is mine to mine. And so if you jumped the claim, tried to mine inside those markers, there's a lot of gunplay, and that was basically used to crush rock. So they'd crush rock. They'd have a horse or mule rather run round and round and crush the rock. And
yes.
So you can see the whole desert and the valley, and the campground is down there. It's pretty slick. And again, $40 a night for full hookups, can't beat it.
Right.
We went in the early part of the year. I think it was January. All right, here we go. You got bacon soda and peanut butter and jelly soda. Our genuine, authentic Western tour guide was complicit in helping me find these, so got to give them a try at Calico. So everyone dresses Western. It's a neat place, so go visit and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, do that.
And thanks for
joining us.
Yeah.